Hello, my loves. It's G here from Golden Thread Tarot. How are you doing today? I am here to bring you another channeled message. I hope this message is finding you blessed and full of abundance, okay? And since Spirit loves you guys so very much, they just couldn't wait. They could not wait, okay? Spirit could not wait to get into this reading. They were already pulling cards as I was shuffling, getting these piles ready, okay? So the death card, they pulled out the death card, a card that hurts Scorpio, but not Scorpio in the sense of like a sign to look for, right? But Scorpio is more of like an energy of transformation, of letting go of fears and darkness and mysterious and shadows, right? Letting go of those things, okay? So clear communication here is bringing some towers to karmic cycles in you guys' lives, okay? Karmic cycles in your thought process, right? Not Spirit is moving a lot more here lately from talking about karmic cycles with other people. I think a lot of us are elevating out of karmic cycles in the thought process of other people. Other people are coming into our lives and they are representing karma, right? And they're representing karmic cycles in our life, to where we're really actually bringing it back to the self, and we are understanding that karmic cycles, we need to break out of karmic cycles in our own thought process. That way we are not attracting karmic people into our lives, right? So it's more about understanding how we are participating in karmic cycles, our own karmic cycles that we are perpetuating ourselves by our own choices, by our own behavior, okay? So there is a lot of kind of lifting, raising, vibration that's happening. Yay, I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are doing so much work. I love it so much. I love to see it. I love to see it. Okay, so let's get more in. On the back of the deck here, we have healing karmic cycle, right? Karmic lessons are teaching you. You need to heal past karmic cycles. Energy needs to be cleared, right? We're clearing out that energy. That's what this death energy is, right? Right? These kings and queens of the past, the things that we put our mind or our mental focus into, are dying away, are moving along, and we here are standing here with Spirit, right? Down here. Some of these towers might feel like they bring you down to your knees, make you feel like, right? But in the background, right, the moon is setting, and the moon has gone down and the sun is rising on a brand new day, right? We discovered this in the back of the cards, right? These two towers look like the towers of understanding. I'm hearing the towers of your ego and your shadow, right? Your ego and the shadow is what Spirit is telling me these two towers represent. And a brand new sun is coming up. Enlightenment is happening on these, on these two things, right? Divine blessing, right? This new day dawning, this death process that you're going through. Oh, and honey bunny, it is part of your life purpose, okay? Right? It is part of your life purpose. And a lot of you are realizing that, and a lot of you are learning how to forgive. Forgive yourself, right? Forget about forgetting other people right now, right? Although that is an important part of it, right? But we also understand on this channel that forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for yourself, right? Because anger and pain only weigh you down. Fear, anger, pain, all of that only, jealousy, the need for revenge, it only weighs you down, right? It isn't hurt. It isn't, oh, let me harm that other person. It's just harming you, right? It's harming you first, right? Forgiveness is the key to love, okay? True unconditional love. Finding that true unconditional work. Hello, it's part of that chateau work, right? Part of that looking inside and really facing your shadow self, right? And understanding that this mission of elevation is not about bringing an end to your ego. You can't bring an end to your ego, right? You're still in human form. You will always have an ego. It's about quieting your ego to the point that when your ego stands up and goes, nah, fuck that, you can go, calm down. It ain't that deep. Go sit down. It's okay. I know why you feel that way, but it's okay, right? Okay, when I picked up the deck, written in the stars was left down here. So this was fated. It was meant to happen, right? It was meant to happen. And I feel like a lot of you are, thank you, a lot of you are seeing it was fated. It was meant to happen. You're surrendering to the divine plan, right? Surrendering to the divine plan. A lot of you are realizing, hey, it was all a part of it. Hello, part of the shadow work, healing that inner child, that wounded inner child, right? Healing that wounded inner child. That's what the ego is. Your ego is a wounded inner child, right? Your ego is the part of your brain, right? Because when we are babies and we haven't, and we don't know anything about the world, when we're still just learning how to process, things like social understandings and beings and language and what the world really is, we are nothing but ego, right? We are nothing but, give me food. It hurts. I don't like it. It's loud. Get away. I don't understand. I want food. Change my diaper. I took a shit, right? We are pure nothing but ego, right? And as we grow, we develop our conscious mind. As we grow, we get more in touch with our conscious mind and our conscious understanding, right? But as we grow, we also become, with this weird contrast that we do, that we also have all these what I love this. I was watching the TV show where it has Trixie Mattel and Katya on it, right? And I loved the fact that she talked about shame and guilt being landfill emotions, right? But I would say that a lot of the times, not that our emotions are landfill or that our emotions are pointless. They are literally everything, right? They are our way. Our emotions are our way of really putting into context how we are reacting to the stimulus that the world gives us, right? Our emotions are our contact in to our shadow self, to our higher self, to our true being, to our ego self, right? Our emotions tap right into that. And when our emotions come up, that lets us know this is how my inner being is really feeling, and this is how my inner being is really reacting to the stimuli that I am getting from the outside world, right? So, right, but it is important that we come to a place where we become conscious enough that we are not letting our emotions rule us, where we are understanding that it's important for us to understand and feel those emotions, allow ourselves to feel those emotions, but to understand that I am not a slave to my emotion, right? It is important that I do not stifle my emotion and I do not let my emotion completely take over me, right? It is important that we do a balance between those two things, right? That we feel them, we allow ourselves to feel them. We can even react in a way that we cry, right? That's okay, right? But it's important that we learn how to not lash out on our more violent or anger or low vibrational emotions, right? An emotion isn't necessarily low vibrational. I'll take a few steps back, take my own words back a little bit, right? Anger and pain and all of those emotions lower your vibration because they have a tendency to latch onto you and to make you lose control of your emotions, lose control of yourself, and give into those emotions, right? Because they are such visceral emotions, because they are from our ego. Pain, anger, I'm hurt. It hurts. It hurts that I'm hungry. It hurts that that loud sound hurt me. It scared me. I'm scared, right? Those emotions come straight up from our ego, right? They come straight up and they feel so strong, right? They feel so strong because they are those very first emotions that we feel what before we have developed adult understanding of our emotions, right? Ooh, I'm loving where spirit is going with this. You guys following me? You guys getting it? You guys picking up what I'm laying down? I know that you are, because you're smart. Because you're smart, boys and girls. Right? Yeah. I saw the empath card too. A lot of you, on this process, a lot of us are blessed with the blessing of being empaths, right? We not only have to process our emotions, but we have to get to a point where we understand that most of us are very sensitive to other people's emotions, right? So we not only have to learn how to feel our emotions, but to learn how to put into place the emotions that we are getting and feeling and perceiving from other people as well, right? Most people are empathic because it's a part of being human. You need to be able to understand how other people feel so that you can assess if they are a danger or if they are an alliance to you, right? Or if they are an ally to you, right? So it's important, right? Empathy is like a higher stage of our development, right? And it's not something that we should look down upon. It's not something that's bad. And I understand that until you get to a point where you can control it, where you can recognize it, where you can understand it, and I don't want to say weaponize it, but when you can use it and understand the tool that it is, right, to help yourself, right? But it's important that we detach our empathy from our shadow and from our ego, right? You can't fully detach it, right? But we would detach it to where enough where our conscious mind can have control over it, can fully use it, right? As the tool that it really is. And so that's why so many people, when they first wake up to their spiritual gifts, or they first wake up to feeling this, they have that negative emotion to it, because they know in the past it has caused them a lot of pain to not only feel their pain, but to feel other people's pains, because that's the energy that's so, because we cast that energy out, and so many people cast that energy out so strong, it's mostly the emotion that we end up feeling, right? But we can also feel our happiness. For those of you that have children, you know that you can have joy, that it brings a tear to your eye, that you get that warm, nice feeling inside when you see your child laugh, or they play, or they have fun, or that they are enjoying something, they're enjoying a gift that you gave them, or they're playing outside, and it gives you that warm, nice, like, oh, this is so lovely, my kid is having a wonderful time kind of feeling, right? Or a friend or a family member, or anything like that, people that we care about, even strangers, right? It gives us that that nice feeling inside, right? That's part of our empathy too. So we have to understand that in this world that there's dark and there's light with everything, right? And it's not our job to villainize the dark part of it. It's for us to understand the dark part of it, right? It's for us to understand it, to not accept it, right? To not take it, to not feel like it's our burden to hold on to that, because it's not, right? But it is our responsibility, and it's a responsible way of, um, you know, taking responsibility is the way that we are supposed to control it, right? Many of us get messed up in this world because language gets us all messed up, right? One person's definition of the word control, and how they use that, and how they use that in their mind, right? Some person might think I'm controlling this, while some other person might think you're manipulating that. You are, trying to control it to the part where you're suffocating it, right? And one person might look at another person and saying, I'm controlling the situation, and saying you have no control over this situation, right? So that's also a thing, but we can control that. Oh, look at that. Look at that one to pop out, twin flame. Why are you trying to pop out? Understanding the dual nature of ourselves. This world is a complicated place, and understanding the psychology of humans is a very complicated thing, right? Understanding, and being a spiritual person, it's not easy, because, not only are you having to do this empathic work, right? Not only are you understanding what it just simply means to be a human, but you are understanding on a deeper level what it means to be a spiritual being, right? So there's layers to this shit, right? As there is with everybody, because everybody has the capability of being a spiritual being, right? Not just those who are consciously awakened to the fact. Every person on earth has the capability of being a spiritual being, because we all have souls. We all have these abilities. It's just some of us have consciously woken up to the fact that we can do it, right? And a bigger portion of the world folk does it unintentionally, right? New beginnings, right? This communicate clearly, right? This communicate clearly not only means communicating with other people, but communicating with yourself, with your higher self, and with spirit as well, on a deeper level, right? That's what it means to becoming awakened. That's what it means to go through these ego deaths, to go through these awakenings, is to clearly communicate with yourself, with your true inner being, and who you truly want to be, right? And what your true purpose is in this world. Oh gosh. Let's get to pulling some cards though. Spirit was just enjoying. Me and Spirit were just enjoying having that conversation with you, okay? Like we were like, oh, we'll pull some cards when we want to. Meditation, right? Meditation is a way to quiet your mind, to quiet your being, okay? Yes. Thank you, Spirit. To quiet your mind, to quiet your being, and really, get in touch with that inner self, with your true inner self, right? Breathe in the love, light, and knowledge of the universe. Travel inward, still your mind, and listen to your heart, right? And for a lot of you, like I said, you are evolving beyond recognizing the karmic cycles within other people. And now you are breaking the internal psychological karmic cycles. And that's getting down to the real shit, okay? That's the meat and potatoes of this, right? And Spirit saying, honey, you're evolving, right? You're evolving to the point where you know, right? Where you're mastering this, where you're not, well, Spirit doesn't want to say, don't get carried away with the term master, right? Don't let your ego get you carried away and be like, that's right, I'm a fucking master. But you know what I mean, right? Wow, union. Yes. And that's bringing in union with spirit, union with your higher self, union with your spirit guides, union with your true inner self, right? Your true inner self that is constantly and continuously always connected to spirit, right? Always uploading and downloading and understanding, right? Oh, yeah, baby. Let's talk about this death. Okay. Forgive. Oh, Spirit said that's not. Yeah, Spirit saying that's for death. Okay. Forgiveness is the key to love. Empathy and compassion will lead the way. Yeah. The end, right? The end of anger and fear and pain, right? And we've been talking about that, right? Underneath anger and underneath pain is usually fear, right? Underneath anger is pain, and underneath pain is fear, right? At a base, right? Us as that baby ego self, right? The death, right? For many of you, you're going through multiple, what most people is what spirit is telling me, which I'm just kind of like learning this, so I'm, which it might be a thing out there, but we talk about what we know about at the time, is that for a lot of us, we go through multiple stages of an ego death, right? You go through an ego death of waking up enough to see that you're a higher being and not having, that you have this higher calling. Then you go through another ego death of letting go of friends and family and workplaces and houses and homes and cars and all the other material things that we learn to bolster ourselves that feed our ego. Then we go through another ego death of letting go of our own personal, things, our own personal psychologies that feed our ego. Right? And then we go through one final ego death, Spirit is saying, where we completely learn that we can separate ourselves from our ego and see our ego self as, it's not complete separation from our ego, because Spirit is also simultaneously saying you can't separate yourself from your ego. It is a part of being a human being. It is a part of your base human instinct, right? That's what our ego is our base human, our animal, instincts, right? Fight, freeze, or flee, right? I'm hungry. I'm scared. I don't like it. Get it out of my face. No, right? That's why we talk about the ego that's why we talk about healing your ego or quieting your ego by healing your inner child, because that's what your inner child is your ego, right? Yeah. And then the surrender, right? Surrendering. That's why Spirit says surrendering is so important, because you actually allow yourself to get to a place where you can view all this, when you can see all this, when you can stand back and take it all in and go, I see, I'm getting it, okay. And Spirit can go, not really, but I see I see that you're trying, and you're like, okay. Oh gosh, Spirit. I get it though. I get it. Spirit says, don't be so hard on yourself. Spirit has had eternity to get this, right? They're saying that they understand that they can have, that they're just poking fun and making fun, just kind of saying those things because they do understand that it's easy they're saying to you, they understand why it's easy for them, because they are living in spirit. They are living outside of an ego. So it's easy for them to get it, right? And they're saying, we understand why it's so hard for you not to get it, because at a base, you are still an animal trying to survive in this world. But part of your spiritual evolution, part of your evolution of being a human, is getting to the point where you can quiet that animalistic part of yourself that has that need to feed off of those things, right? Sorry if that was loud. Yeah, but this new moon energy, though, it's new things, right? Manifesting new things. This is what's going to help you manifest new things. This is all a part of your life purpose, right? Spirit saying that's what the part of every person's life purpose is. Going through this is the point of everybody, because when you start to wake up, that's when you can start to see the karmic things that have happened to you, the karmic things you have done to other people, and you can understand the purpose. That is life purpose. People have said that humans have been asking that question, what's the purpose of life? And it's been right there under your nose. Everybody knows what it is, right? It's to live, it's to have a good time, it's to love and eat and make love, they said, and other things as well, to procreate, to make more children. It's all of those things, right? It's right under your nose. It's the very simplistic things of life, right? But it's also to allow yourself to do that while also simultaneously being able to look at yourself in a mental way that's higher than the past generations have been able to. It's really simple. Spirit is saying that the purpose of life is just to live, and to live it within a conscious mind, to get to a point where you can live a conscious understanding and and with that comes inner peace, and with that comes more people being at inner peace. And when more people are inner peace, they partner with partners that are at inner peace, and they make children that are at inner peace. And when we start doing that, we start affecting things globally. Like, more people care about inner peace, more people care about connecting to people, more people care about holding other people responsible who don't want those things, more people care about being nicer to themselves and nicer to their children and nicer to their neighbors and nicer to their countrymen and nicer to other countries. And in that way, we create a much better world. But it has to start with the inside. You can't think that you can fix the outside and get distracted with fixing the world when you're not trying to fix yourself first. Wow. Okay. I was just about to say, Spirit, tell me how you really feel. Look at this. Spirit said that the problem here is that most people are not honest. I literally was about to say, tell me how you really feel, Spirit, and honesty came out and threw itself across the room. What's leaving this? Spirit said the problem is that most people want to fixate on what their partner is doing, what somebody else is doing. They want to fixate on how other people feel about them. They want to fixate on what's happening and when and where is it going to come and when am I going to get what I want, right? Ego. That is the ego. It's a lot easier to focus on other people and to point fingers at other people, and it's a lot easier to do those things than it is to take responsibility for yourself and for your own actions, right? It's a lot easier to say, well, the world is got all these problems and I need to fix those problems. Why? I'm not saying that you can't do something that in the end will help the world, right? For sure you can, and it should be everybody's mission to make this world and their life and other people's lives a little bit better in any kind of small or large way that they can. But honesty of who you are and your motives to doing that need to come first. Because real change happens after you get real with yourself about who you are and what you want. Higher self union. 5D union, right? That's when you have this honesty, and that's what this new cycle is bringing in for a lot of you. 24 down on the clock. A lot of you, this new cycle for you is bringing in a whole new state of honesty, of really looking at yourself, really going hermit mode and really bringing that in for yourself, right? To stop looking and comparing and contrasting yourself with other people, not looking at it as because Spirit is saying that most people in this, okay, this is going to be a triggering statement, but Spirit says say it, okay? Most people, a lot of people in the awakened community want to look at themselves as higher up, as more educated, as more awake. You're not any better than anyone else. Just because you're at a more awakened state doesn't mean that you're better than that other person, right? It just means that you are at a different place in your journey than they are. Doesn't mean that you're better. Doesn't mean you see yourself as higher. And now Spirit is saying that they have witnessed through me, looking at the tarot community, looking at the spiritual community, that there are too many people that want to say, oh, I've put aside my ego, while they still want to deliver messages of, you're special. You're an empress. So that means you're so much better than the karmic. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. You might choose to do more helpful things. You might choose to do less selfish things. You might choose to do less hurtful things. That doesn't mean that you're a better person. It just means that you're making different choices than those other people. And it might be really hard for you to understand that. But if you are feeling triggered by that, understand that it's your ego that's being triggered by that. Because only your ego needs to think that it's better than anyone else. And this is something that I, myself, Giovanna, not Spirit, that I, myself, suffer from as well. You know, me as a person, I suffer from that as well. There are times when I have said, you know, well, I'm doing so much better, you know, that I've said that in readings when I'm talking about the DM or the karmic. Well, why? You're an empress. Why would somebody think they were? It's all part of it. Spirit saying it's all part of it. It's all part of learning your lessons. Right? Yeah, it's all part of finding that balance. It's all part of balancing out the same thing, right? Ooh, look at that justice. It's all part of balancing it out. It's all part of finding that balance between your ego and shadow self and your higher self, your ego, shadow self, inner child, you know, and well, Spirit wants to say a wounded inner child is over here, and you know, a healed inner child will be over here, because when you are at a more healed place, you are actually more connected with your inner child. You have spent more time with your inner child. Yes, you have really faced a lot of the past, right? You've put into past a lot of this heartbreak that you have dealt with, right? And you've learned your lessons, and you've learned how to be proactive about your lessons, right? King of Wands. Proactive about your healing, proactive about the things that have hurt you in the past, right? And have brought a lot of love, right, to that inner child. Put in the work. And it looks different to everybody else, right? It looks different from person to person. So Spirit is saying that too many of us, and Spirit is saying they understand why. And they are not saying these things to try to make you feel bad about yourself, or to make you feel like that anybody or that Spirit thinks that they're better than you or anything like that, or you're not good enough just because you're still tapped into those ego things, right? It's just about being honest. I'm not trying to check you. I'm not trying to shame you. I'm not trying to make you feel any type of way about it. I'm just saying the honest truth about it. And Spirit is saying that that's just the honest truth about it. Walk away. Walk away from these things that you've spent so many years of your life investing in, right? So many of us spend so much of our life investing in our ego. And then one day we have to face the fact that awakening includes us walking away from those ego-based things, right? And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that anybody, you know, you can get to a place where you have set aside, caring what anybody else has to say about it. And I hope that we can all get there, right? It gives us this full, fresh, I'm just doing what I'm doing regardless of what anybody else says. And somebody else might be like, you fool, get back away from that cliff, right? But now the sun has completely risen and is high in the sky, right? It's not just a beginning and dawning of a new day, right? It's not just a dawning of a new day. It is a complete new bright day, right? That many of us want to control that, or many of us, a magician is also somebody who uses the tools at their disposal. Many of us do not see the power that comes in being in this full position, that comes in being in that position, right? Some people might say a fool is somebody who's ignorant, and somebody might call, somebody who's ignorant like a child or childish, not understanding who they are or where they're going. But Spirit is saying that when you come to that place in your life, you will see that you actually feel more childlike than you ever have in your life, right? Or that you have in your adult life, Spirit wants to say, right? Wow. What else do you have to say about this, Spirit? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did I put the Queen of Cups already came out one time, but I guess I put it back up. My bad. But I was going to say King, Queen of Cups, but I put the Queen of Cups back up. You know, coming in and opening yourself, opening up your heart chakra, getting in touch with that soft, smooth, nice side of yourself, right? To not allow yourself to become this hardened person, to still be this person that defends yourself, that stands up for yourself, but when it is appropriate, right? To know the difference when it's important to be that King of Wands that's up and I will fight and I will, you know, do that. And when to have a more comical, cool, you know, loving approach to things. It's important that we all find the balance in being those two things, right? That's where you find your inner strength. That's when you find your inner confidence and your inner understanding. Somebody that has to wave their wand around all the time is somebody who has a lot of insecurities. Is somebody who doesn't know, that doesn't have an inner knowing of, no matter what that other person says, I am independent and I am free thinking. I am not codependent on the fact that some stranger on the internet has something to say about something. Okay, well, you can feel any way you want to, right? I was on a live stream, or I wasn't in the live stream, but I was watching a live stream of somebody of someone, and they were talking about how somebody mentioned twin flames, and this person mentioned that they don't believe in twin flames, and I just made the comment, I feel like there are a lot of people out there that don't understand twin flames, and this person had a very visceral reaction. They were like, you're not gonna convince anybody over here that twin flames exist. And I simply said, I'm not trying to, and it's not my job to, right? You know, I know what I believe, and I know what my beliefs are. I know what the research I've done, and what I have come, you know, and it's not my place to tell him that he is in the wrong for not believing in them. I just simply said, I think a lot of people misunderstand what twin flames really are, which is true to me, right? And that was the point, right? My point that I made was like, hey, you can believe whatever you want to, right? But you don't have to have a violent reaction. Well, he didn't get violent about it, but you don't have to have that type of reaction to it. You know, if you want to, cool. But you saying, you know, because he mentioned, oh, well, I think that a lot of people, he mentioned something about how, you know, you'll look like a fool. And I was like, because he was saying, oh, I've been doing this for 20 years and this is how I think and this is the evidence that I've come up with. And I'm like, okay. You know, and it's like, and he was basically making the insinuation that he said, you know, when you do stuff like that and you have more time, sometime you'll be looking back on it and thinking that you look like a fool. You know, and my point was, I don't look like a fool. You know, if my opinion changes, if I grow, if I take on more information, I don't look at myself like a fool. I just look at myself as, well, I believe that then because of the information and what I believe then. You know, if my beliefs change over time because I have experienced more, then my feelings will change. I won't look at myself like a fool. I'll just understand that I understood something different then, and now I understand something else. 33333 down on the clock. And it's like, detach your need to feel any certain way at yourself, about yourself, due to how somebody else sees you, right? And that includes me, right? So if somebody else, okay, Empress, right? That's how you find that Empress mode inside yourself. That's how you really find that place inside yourself where you're like, I get it, I'm cool, I understand, right? I'm good. You're free to think anything you want to about my beliefs. You're free to look at me like I'm crazy if you want to. You're free to not believe in me. You're free to not do whatever. You're free to disagree with me. You're free to think I'm ugly. You're free to think you'd never want to be with me. You're free to think anything, right? Anything you want to believe. That's cool. Right? But I'm not going to change my beliefs simply based on the fact that you disagree with me. And I don't have to. Right? And it's not my job to try to change your beliefs. I'm simply stating what I believe. If you want to believe something different, you're free to, right? And it's not my place to call you an idiot or call you slow or simple or a fool because you believe something different. I'm not agitated by the fact that you believe something different. Now, at one point in the past, I would have been because I was still in my ego. And I'm not saying that anybody can say anything to me and I don't sometimes feel some type of way about it, but I am blessed to be in the state of mind where I am slowly starting to understand. Some person can make you feel a type of way, and instead of reacting to that, I choose to respond. It doesn't mean that I choose to stay silent, right? I will still respond. But if somebody makes me feel some type of way and I get triggered, I will spend the time to ask myself, well, why do you feel triggered? Well, this person is misunderstanding me. So what? So what? There are going to be some people, yeah, sometimes it's like, sometimes, okay, this person is misunderstanding me because I guess, perhaps there was a better way, or perhaps there was a different way, or perhaps there was a more thorough way, is what Spirit wants to say. Perhaps there was a more thorough way that you could have explained yourself. But at the end of the day, it's on that person, how they feel about it. Because at the end of the day, you can explain your side of the story, or you can explain yourself in all different kind of ways. I can say as many times as I want to, hey loves, my email is listed down below in this description box down below, and I will still get comments asking me for my email. I can say all I want to. Gender and energy are two separate things, and I will still get comments down below saying something sideways about me because I'm confusing, because they are confusing the two. I'm not confusing that. And I'm not saying that in the past I haven't reacted in a way that I kind of looked at and been like, you didn't have to say that. You already stated it. You know what you said. So some things I don't react to. Some things I don't respond to, or I'm learning not to respond to them because it's like, I've already stated, for a fact that you've already stated it. So either one, that person just doesn't get it, or two, they are purposely saying that even though you've already said it because they choose not to listen to what you say. And in that situation, it's like, the information is out there. Whether or not they choose to accept it or whether or not they choose to absorb it, that's on them. It's not on you, right? You're not a teacher of everybody. It's not for you to put everybody in their place. Some people very much so choose not to do that. It's not for you to change yourself to match them. And so many of us do that because we are scared of getting ostracized, which again, right? We are scared of being abandoned. We are scared of being alone. We are scared of being, where we won't be accepted or that people won't match. We're scared to ask for what we really want because we're scared people won't match it. Don't be scared to ask for what you really want, because when you ask, when you really align yourself with what you really want, right? And you put it out there, you will accept what you really want, right? It might mean that you have fewer people around you, but the people that are around you will be real. The people that are around you will be the ones who energetically match who you are, right? Which means that you might have a far few acquaintances, but you will have far greater relationships around you that are people who really, truly vibe with you. And I have always been okay with that, okay? I have always been okay with not being accepted by the greater mass and being accepted by a few people who really vibe with me and understand me. And that's okay. And I've not always been truly accepting of that. I'm not saying that I haven't felt lonely at some points, but it is what it is. Okay. Okay. Period. Right? That's when you come into alignment with your true highest self. That's when you come into alignment with those who truly match your energy. That's when you come into alignment with your truest self, your truest interior self. That's not your true self, who you are really on the inside, right? And that will show on the outside. And what is happening on the inside is going to be mirrored on the outside. So when you really work on yourself on the inside, that's when the people that are around you mirror you. Okay. And it will happen in divine time when it is really supposed to, because that is part of your life purpose. Okay, babes? Right there. And if you got this, who cares what anybody else thinks? At the end of the day, Spirit said, at the end of the day, All right, sweet loves. Yeah, just work on it, and it's okay. Let's get some final advice for you, my sweet loves. And then we're going to end this reading. It was 40:05. So, right, mirroring. What is on the inside mirrors on the outside. And for a lot of us, when we are first started waking up, it's hard for us because our ego says, oh, there's no way. There's no way that all this stuff that I see is messed up, that all these people that are abusing me, there's no way that that's mirroring what's happening on my inside. Is it not? Honesty. Right? When we have that honesty with ourselves, that's when we find success in our partnerships, in our relationships, right? We realize that in the past, it just wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time because you weren't ready. Things come to you when you're ready for them, right? Thank you, Spirit. Yes. Okay. We have to remain positive, right? We have to remain positive through this, right? Spirit saying, we're not doing this to call you out, to make you feel ashamed or make you feel bad or make you feel doubt. If this makes you feel angry or ashamed or doubt or doubtful or any of those things, it's not for you. Let it go. Release it. It's not for you. Let it go. Let it be for somebody else, right? Take action and remove it from yourself, you know? But for some of you, you're going to have to realize that, you know, you'll come to this conclusion when it's time for you and when it is your conclusion. If it's your conclusion, do it. If it makes you feel low vibrational, release it. Somebody's pissed off. I know that. I can already feel somebody typing in the comments. Woo, but it's okay, right? Choose a new direction. Choose a new direction. I can already feel some people being triggered by this. Because honestly, I would have watched a reading like this like a year ago or a few months ago, and I would have been hella triggered. So I understand. Exactly. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit said, it's up to you. It's up to you. Absorb what you want to absorb. Think what you want to think, right? If it isn't giving you that, yeah, feeling on the inside, then it's not for you. Simply go find something that makes you happier, right? And it's that simple. Don't get mad at me. It's just not for you. And I'm fine with that. I don't have to be for you, right? This message doesn't have to be for you. But when you understand that it's up to you and you understand that, right? That's when, baby, it becomes the perfect time. For some of you, it's not the right time to hear this message, and that's going to be okay. And if you feel the need to type something triggered down in the comments, that just simply means this message isn't for you. And that's okay. I release you with peace and love, and I hope that you find the message that is right for you, right? Maybe it's just not time. Right? It's not time for you. And that doesn't mean this message is above you or you're not advanced enough. It doesn't mean any of those things. It just means maybe it's just not the right time for you. And when it is, it'll find you. Right? All right. Sorry about that. Had a little visitor. That was good. Had a good visit. Yeah. Right? For the perfect time. Within the next few weeks. So you got some stuff happening. Yeah, letting go. Within the next few weeks. Spirit saying they're going to be working with you to improve your health, right? Improving your health, letting go of some of these more karmic mindsets that are keeping you, right? Exactly. Spirit's going to be delivering you more information, right? About how to align yourself. Yeah. Asking for help, getting help and letting go. So a lot of you over the next few weeks are getting a lot more help from Spirit on letting go a lot of these more egotistical mindsets, you know, that are kind of slowing you down a little bit, Spirit is saying. So I thought I heard something flip. It's one of these purple ones. It's this one. Spirit wants me to get. No. So some of you might have asked a question or this no trust. Like Spirit also might be really helping you to fight any kind of like trust issues or anything like that you might have. Okay. There it is. A new one flipped. Romance. Right? Trust issues around romance. Definitely gonna help you. Yeah. Some of you are going to get a lot more success. You're going to get more information on having success in this romance. So be on the lookout. You could be receiving it through a conversation that you're having with somebody. You could be receiving it if some of you have any kind of like gurus or masters or, mentors or anything like that. You might be having some really interesting conversations. You might be having some really interesting conversations with if you have any kind of counselors or therapists or anything like that. Okay. That might be coming up and you might be having like kind of like a breakthrough conversation with one of them, okay? Or you might be seeing, if you watch any kind of like motivational speakers or anything like that, kind of just, allow yourself to be called to what you need to be called to, okay? And for some of you, you're having a really hard, like, yeah, these trust issues that you're having is making you say really like a really strong no to romance. Spirit is saying that that's not, that of course you're ready for it when you're ready for it, but yeah, but Spirit is saying this trust, right? Your trust is what's really making you, oh, there is a card flipped. I knew there was another card that flipped. There it is. Yeah, exactly. It's the ask for help from others, right? So you've been asking for help on this and you are going to be receiving it within the next few weeks. Okay. You've been asking your angels, ask your angels. You've been asking your angels. You've been praying about it. You've been trying to manifest answers or clear guidance on that. Spirit says you are going to be at the place where you will be able to allow that to come in. Yes. Okay. Spirit is saying that you will be at the place in the next few weeks that you will be allowing that to come in, to be allow yourself to see. And Spirit is saying that it might involve that for some of you, you haven't gotten to a place where you were able to be honest enough with yourself about some of the things that happened in your past. Okay. I'm also hearing like open communication. You might be having a really deep conversation with somebody from your past. Okay. Wow. Spirit said yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah, definitely an opportunity coming into your life that's really going to help open up those floodgates, right? Open up those floodgates for abundance to flow into your life of many kind. Yeah. And you're gonna, with this helpful person coming in, okay, it's gonna bring a peaceful resolution to some of these issues that you've really been facing over the last few weeks, or now over the last few months, okay? Within the next few months, over the last few months for sure. So within the next few weeks to the next few months, you are going to be facing some of those kind of like larger issues that you've really been trying to face here recently, okay? One more, Spirit is saying one more. Okay, there it is. No. So no is coming in here as well. So you might be having to say no. Also, there might be 3 different subjects that might come up. The first answer might be no, like a hell no kind of explanation point, okay? The next answer might be a yes in the answer. So you might have something. I'm also getting like softening, finding compromise instead of yelling or screaming or having any kind of like really harsh answer for you. You might be finding out how to have a softer no to it, like a softer no, thank you. I'm okay about it, okay? But there definitely could be something that's happening where you're getting an opportunity to say yes, like it's a choice, right? Something to say yes to and something to say no to, right? Right? So Spirit is saying trust that we are bringing in the help that you need, okay? Be assertive about how you feel about this. Take off your mask and be very honest with yourself about what you really want and who you want to be most of all, okay? And just to know that the situation will improve, and that's why this is coming in. That's why this is happening. Yes, exactly, to bring in abundance. On the other side of this is going to be abundance for you, Spirit is saying, okay? So watch how you're handling any kind of conversations or these tower moments that are coming in for you, all right? And you guys keep in mind that Mercury Retrograde is still into effect until February the 3rd. So I'm getting, within the next few weeks, Mercury Retrograde could be ending and you could be having a very interesting conversation towards the end or after Mercury Retrograde is Mercury has already come direct. So, right? Because this whole thing was about having clear communication. And in the meantime, it's about understanding that, like I said in the very beginning, right? A tower moment is coming here. So there could be a conversation that's happening, okay? So that you can get closure and you can completely close out a karmic cycle with somebody or with a thought process or a mind process that you had, right? So there definitely is within the next few weeks, the next few months, depending on the work that you're doing, right? And also, of course, also depending on another person, if this is another person coming in, right? That person also lining up with this, that tower moment coming in here to really end, right? A cycle because you are coming into union, right? With your higher self, right? That's beautiful. So communicate clearly. Yes, Spirit saying yes. Right? Communicate clearly with other people and with yourself. Most importantly, communicate clearly with yourself and get in touch with what you really want. Okay, so that when this Spirit is saying that for some of you, it's a temptation, okay? Or this offer or whatever it is that comes in, you can see the truth of what you really want and who you really are, okay? So there is a tower moment that's coming for some of you that is going to be an opportunity to end a karmic cycle for once and for all, right? To really elevate yourself out of it. Now, of course, it is going to look different for all of you. It's going to be a different person. It's going to come in different ways, right? But be on the lookout for that. So Spirit is saying be on the lookout within the next few weeks, okay? For a conversation, a really important conversation, or really important information. You're going to receive some information, okay? And they're kind of keeping it open how you're going to receive that information, and then and then you're going to have a conversation that's going to happen, okay? It either could happen based on the information, okay? This person could be the person coming forward and bringing information, okay? Or you could, spirit could. It's some spirits say it's closer to they're going to reveal a truth to you, okay, which is going to bring about a conversation, which is going to be a tower moment. That conversation is going to be a tower moment in your life, and it's going to be a choice, right? You're going to have a choice, either say yes or say no, right? I don't know what that situation is going to be because it's going to be different for all of you, okay? But Spirit is saying in the meantime, right, get into highest alignment with yourself, right? So that you're not making a choice out of ego, so you're not making a choice out of pain or out of anger, but you're making a choice by what is really right for you, right? And Spirit is saying that it's going to be really important that you make that choice from that space of understanding and peace within yourself, okay? Good luck with that, okay, my loves. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity and Spirit the opportunity to talk to you. I want to thank you and thank your spirit guides for leading you here. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed to the channel, think about subscribing to the channel and joining the tribe, okay? If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for being here with me. I want to thank everybody that is here doing this energy exchange, who is commenting down below, thank you for all your very kind and lovely comments. I really appreciate you guys, right? Thank you for all the interaction on my channel. Thank you for the view. Like and subscribe if you really feel called to, okay? And I will see you lovelies in the next one. Bye.